afternoon, guys. This session of this video, which I'm going to be talking about, is based on the continuation of rural industries. The previous sessions we had, that is about some 10 days, 15 days back, we had spoken about the concept of rural industries, how the rural industries are all about, the meaning, features of rural industries. Today, what we are going to discuss is that we are going to discuss something about classification of rural industries. So, we're going to make classification, and we're going to see how each sectors are into. All right. So, the classification goes like this. Okay. So, the classification of rural industries will be of three classifications. One is your cottage industry, one is your small scale industry, and another one is agro based. Again, if we divide cottage industry, there are few. One is handlooms, handicraft, khadi, sericulture. Again, when we divide khadi, we have tiny rural artisans, and ancillary industries. So, this is a brief flow chart of classification of rural industry, where we divide them into cottage. I repeat this. This is editing done there. Cottage industry, small scale industry, and agro based industries. In cottage again, in cottages we divide into handlooms, we divide into handicrafts, khadi, and we divide sericulture. In khadi again, we people divide into tiny rural artisans and ancillary industries. So, when we people study about cottage industry, so we'll go one by one and we'll be exploring all these things. Cottage industries are the industries which are specialized form of small scale industries where production of the product or production of the commodity takes place in home. I repeat, it's a specialized form of small scale industry where the production of the commodity, whatever they are going to produce, that will happen at the home. Labor is supplied by the family members. So local laborers, home laborers, as well as the work is local. The production of the commodity takes place at their homes, and there is a common labor. There's a labor which has been produced by normal labor. That is the labors which have been put up by your family members. Machines or means utilized for the production are generally the ones which are being used at homes. No sophisticated technology is being utilized, no high end of technology is being utilized. Whatever means are being utilized for at home, at house purpose, the same ones are being utilized here for cottage. So cottage industries are the ones where form of special small scale industries where the production of the commodity takes place at home. Labor has been found out by the house members itself, and technology which is used at homes, the same will be utilized here for the production. So this is the understanding of cottage. So in cottage, as we saw the flow chart, we have as per the flow chart, cottage we have groups now. So first let us go for what are handlooms. Handlooms industry is best known for its distinctiveness, style, and traditionalism. So if you see your local markets, especially in your Hubli, Dharwad markets, you people see a lot of handlooms exhibitions do come, fun and fair exhibitions do come, where you see your local people producing local products which are made at home at a reasonable, affordable price, and they sell it off to public. Though those represents which are distinct, which are not where you can't get them with branded products. Then you can see the traditionalism, what the country represents. Common technology is being utilized, local resources being utilized. So where people see a lot of local resources being utilized. So every state have them, and especially if you want to take local examples, you people see in your Hublis and the cities of Dharwad, you people might see handloom exhibitions coming through. So these exhibitions which come through where they demonstrate local products made up of the people who come from different states with their products exhibiting to the people. So that is one where we people have one aspect, that is your handloom. So is your handicrafts. So handicraft is more precisely as artisanry, something like where the people create magic from their hands, something like your handicrafts, such we people used to have it in your school or college days. We used to have a test, or we used to have a subject called as handicraft class, or SUPW. We used to have a session on that, where we people used to do something like this. So these were the ones where we people were asked to using local resources to do something innovative, do something interesting, where people can in future, if you can. So here in India also, where these the artisans create magic from their hands, and they try to make it more decorative, and they try to sell it off, try to promote it in the markets. Usually handicraft products are being utilized by foreign people a lot, because this richly represents the beauty of those countries and all. So whenever if you people see any foreign collaborators coming to our country, handicraft products handicraft products are being given to the foreign people, because that shows that it is richly made up of local resources, and which is one which is distinctive and unique. Next one is a sericulture. Sericulture is a technique of silk production. Sericulture is a technique of silk production. Is an agro based industry. In this agro based industry, so sericulture is like an art of rearing silkworm from the productions of cocoon and the raw materials. Now, for example, if you take we have the silk board factories and silk association factories in Mysore and Bangalore. So these get involved in those. So the technique which is used for production of silks, such as different types of aspects. Then we have khadi. The final one, we have khadi, where due to a lot of global products being utilized, due to a lot of multiple brands or multiple foreign brands being utilized, we have somewhere forgot the utilization of these. But when we people see the globalization part and all this, it's very important that we need to remove restrictions and start promoting on khadi products. Something like provide employment opportunities, provide equal marketing opportunities, promote these products on a higher note, and all those things. So try to provide more. Try to provide more opportunities, more scope for these people, so that they take up these things more on a higher advantage. So when we people talk about, so I hope the cottage and the classification of this rural is first clear. Cottage are the ones where form of small scale industries where the local people, the production happens to be at home. Technology which has been utilized by the local people. Budget is low as well. So in cottage industries we have handlooms, handicrafts, sericulture, khadi. So when we people dig deep into khadi village industries, we have first one, we have ancillary industries. So ancillary industries are those which manufacture parts and components to be used by larger segment. So for example, they provide this supporting surface, support to the bigger companies. They provide them the helping hand to larger industries. So they produce small components. Small companies, such as providing manufacturing nuts, bolts for the automobiles, preparing wheel caps, preparing or something like aircraft product components for something like that. So is it manufacturing engines, producing engines for the aircrafts. So all these, the ancillary industries provide them. They provide a helping hand to the people. And when we talk about your rural artisans, so these are again ones which are unorganized sectors of workers. So we see this only amongst majority amongst rural people, where we noticeable artisans not in organized way. They come up to their own products and they try to create something out of it. So that is one. And tiny, of course, are the ones which we have already discussed. So these forms of khadi, which we have, tiny, rural artisans, and ancillary, provide you that scope of giving you, providing probably the opportunities which we people, the rural industries or the rural people are required as now. So these are ones, and at small scale we have enough discussed about it. So I'll first come to this agro based, then I'll go to the small scale, because small scale we have already discussed a lot. So we're not going to dig deep again into that. So we'll go to this agro based this thing. The agro industries are extended from probably the things which are related to your agriculture. So why this agro-based industries have been put up here is to promote your primary sector of aspects. Here, what this the development of this, what this is been created, or why this has been set up over here, is to create more employment opportunities for both production as well as in marketing. Then for to come up with better promotion of agriculture based products, fertilizers, components, etc. Then to have proper physical infrastructures and commercialize these agro industries, diversify them, and for final consumptions, processing these agro-based products are pretty important. So for that, your majority of the based industry sector and the boards have been set up for promoting agricultural aspects. NABARD is one. Then there are a few institutions as NABARD is one, SUKI is one. So something like that where where the government is taking actions to promote agriculture-based products, provide employment opportunities, and all those things. So these are a few concepts or a few points which we people need to understand, and we people are having these. So before we close up, classification of rural industries, we have cottage, we have small scale, and we have agro-based industries. When we talk about cottage, small scale, we have handlooms, handicrafts, and khadi, and we have sericultures. Handlooms talks about your different distinctive designs. Handicrafts talks about your artisans. Sericulture will talk about the technique which is to be utilized in the production of silk. Khadi, which talks about your local brands. In Khadi again we have rural artisans and ancillary. Ancillary are the industries which produces small components which play an helping hand to the bigger industries. So they pay an helping hand to these. Rural artisans are ones which create magic, especially in the setup in the rural areas. So those are ones. Small scale, as I said, will not have much discussions about it. Agro-based industries are ones which are here to promote, to provide employment opportunities, to give more scope to them, to the agriculture-based sectors and the promotion of agriculture aspects. So these are the ones which we wanted to discuss today. The remaining things, the role of rural industries in Indian economy, and all the coming up following chapters we'll be seeing in the next videos. Thank you.